What's up, guys? I've got a quick review here of the GROM VLINE2 interface that allows you to have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay in your car, even if it doesn't come with it. So I'm just going to go over kind of my experience with it and then some of the specs and things you can do. So here you have the GROM VLINE. It's already been set up in my Acura TLX 2015. There's the interface. It's pretty basic. It's pretty much running modified Android 8.1, so it's a couple versions behind, but it's good enough to do the job. You could also see here that the iPod interface is being occupied by the VLINE. It's kind of how it hacks its way into taking control of your audio and audio controls. I'm going to show you real quick. This is where I hide the thing. So I did most of the install myself, but I had to have help once the video started having issues. I had them look at it and they rewired it for me. But basically it just sits in here. You can see on the back that's the harness cable that plugs into the car interface. It allows the VLINE to communicate with the car's built-in software. And then you have the pigtail cable coming out that controls the USB. And then you have a video cable plugged in, display port, which displays the video to your top video screen for this car. Coming out the front, you can see that's where you plug in your device once you want to use Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. I believe Android Auto works on the bottom port, and then the Apple CarPlay works on the top. And then you have a external HDMI, which allows you to project into the video interface. And you have your camera cable here that allows you to connect multiple cameras to this interface, like side, front camera, stuff like that. And then you have your mic input, which is 3.5 millimeter. And you can see here, I kind of rigged it so it comes out through the side and then through the top here. And then behind my rear view, you have your microphone that you speak into for voice commands, stuff like that. So that's pretty much it. I can say in my experience, I basically bought this just to use Android Auto and kind of update my car without getting rid of any of the installed displays. I'm gonna go into the specs a little bit. So it seems like what they did was took a tablet interface here and then basically just rigged it so that it could communicate with the car. So it's got a quad-core mobile CPU. It does most of the tasks that you need it to pretty easily. 2 gigs of RAM, 16 gigs of flash storage. It's got Wi-Fi. It's got Bluetooth 2.1. It has a micro SD slot, HDMI like you saw, and then built-in GPS, which I don't really use because I just use my phone's GPS. And then it's got the 2 USB 2.0 ports you saw there. The AV port is what allows you to connect more cameras. And using the Wi-Fi, it can actually get over-the-air updates. If I go into the settings, you can kind of see I don't really have it connected into Wi-Fi right now, but you can connect it to Wi-Fi to get your updates and install software, anything from the Google Play Store, pretty much. So yeah, the system. You can check for VLINE system updates right there. And you can even see it recognizes it as a tablet according to Android. So like I said, it's like they took a tablet and just kind of deconstructed it so that it can work with the car. For my system, the Acura TLX uses the knob control that's built in, so you can see how I'm navigating. It's pretty well equipped to navigate pretty much seamlessly. it's really built for a touchscreen, but the knob works just fine for what I need it to do. And once you get your Android Auto plugged in, you don't really need to do much else. You can pretty much do everything via voice commands nowadays. So I'm going to go into a little bit of things that I use the most. You can see you can install different apps here, widgets, but I don't use much besides Android Auto. Here I can plug in a device so you can see the Android Auto here. So I just switched my camera just so you can see the Android Auto working. So by default you plug it in and it goes into Android Auto mode once you have it set up. You can see this is the maps interface, and it's pretty much standard across Android Auto. The knob lets you use it pretty easily. You can search, you can talk to it and tell it where you want to go. Just click that, or you can even go to the bottom here and just click this and then say, you know, Google, take me to wherever. And then here you have your Spotify controls. I like to use Spotify. It's just, I've had it for a while, so it's easy. And then from here you can also look and see, you get all your Spotify information here. It's like a shortcut to Spotify, and you have all your stuff. And then if you want to go back into the menu, it's easy. You just click the phone button. For my cars, this is how the buttons are mapped, and then you can switch off to different apps. I can say in my experience I mostly just use Spotify, maps, and phone pretty much. You can initiate phone calls through here. You can see you can just initiate calls here.
Thank you for calling Sequoia Asset Solutions. This is an attempt to collect a debt by a debt collector. Any information obtained may be used.
You can see it goes back into your car interface when you make calls, but then once you're done, it goes back. So it's a little wonky, but it works pretty well. So those are the main features I use. There's plenty more stuff you can do, but I haven't gotten too deep into it. You can see all the pre-built stuff, or stuff that's pulling from my phone, but some of it populates in Android Auto, some of it doesn't. You can go back, and that's pretty much it. So in my experience, it's been worth it. It's a little pricey. It costs about $770 just for the hardware for it to get shipped. And then if you don't install it yourself, you're looking at another like $200 just to install it. So if you frame it like, you know, it's cheaper than getting a new car, then it's not too bad. But otherwise, it's kind of a hefty investment for something that's kind of a hack into your car. When I was installing it, I had some issues, so I had to pay even more than that just to get my wires fixed, because I managed to cut one of them. And then after I installed it, I ran into some issues with error codes popping up, and so I reached out to GROM, who makes the product, and they were very responsive. They helped me troubleshoot through it. It's one of the benefits of going with this piece of hardware, I believe. It was very seamless. They just told me to cut some wires on the harness cables, 2 white wires, and they, I guess in their testing, they figured out how to remove the codes doing that. But after that, it was basic. Everything worked, and I haven't had any issues since. I get the occasional error message, something that's not really broken, like the lane keep assist or something. But you don't really see it unless you go into the car hardware. But other than that, it's been pretty good. Like I said, it's probably worth just getting it professionally installed, and that'll save you some headaches trying to do it yourself, unless you're really comfortable with this kind of stuff. But other than that, if you have any questions, you can comment on the video or just contact me directly. Thank you.